Say that I consider it a great honor to be asked to occupy this platform today with so many wonderful speakers that will be up after me. People who have the same like mind from so many different walks of life. I stand here today in solidarity to affirm that we will not allow assaults on the middle class workers in America to continue. America is a country built on the principles that all men and women are created equal. And I beg to ask, why are some considered more equal than others? We must take the energy of those of us gathered here today and utilize it to move forward as one large movement. A movement that will not be silenced, a movement that will not tire, a movement that will not rest until all right and just for the middle class families and workers. I ask you to view this movement not only as a responsibility, view it as an obligation that we have to the future of democracy, an obligation to the future of the middle class, and as a teacher and a parent, I must say, an obligation to our children, for they are the future. A day doesn't go by when working people in this country aren't under attack. On the national front, workers are being compromised in states such as Wisconsin, Ohio, Minnesota, Florida, New Jersey, and threats continue in New Hampshire and the great state of New York. Boo! Come on, wake up over here! Now there are many people currently dancing around in Wisconsin like Governor Walker to the tune of Labor is Dead. I, for one, would like to thank Governor Walker. Some of you may think this is odd. However, I believe he and each of his cronies have done a fine job. A job of awakening, arousing, organizing, and mobilizing the middle class and workers throughout America. Now, he had better stop writing eulogies for labor, because Governor Walker, labor is not dead. It's actually at your doorstep and mad as hell. Your actions have helped us to organize the organized. We have coalitions of teachers, firefighters, civil service workers, nurses, service employees, and all the affiliates of the AFL-CIO. While we may have our own issues independent of one another, we now have one very pointed, clear message and direction.
We are one!
We are one!
We are one! We are one! We are one! We are one! We are one! We are one!
Our agenda, saving the middle class, securing collective bargaining rights, creating jobs, reducing unemployment, and be sure to hear this one, making sure that those who think like Governor Walker never get elected. It is fitting that we assemble here today, a day in which we stop to honor the memory and the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on the anniversary of his death. Let us all pause and remember why he was in Memphis, Tennessee on that fateful day. He was there in support of the sanitation workers, the working men of this country. He was standing tall to protect the rights of the workers, the right to bargain for a fair contract, the right for a fair wage, and safe working conditions. Our leaders going forward must be carefully selected, and our present leaders must be in our corner. We need leaders who will stand up and fight for the working men and women of this country and carry on Dr. King's work. We must work hard to elect leaders who will recognize that without a functioning, thriving middle class, America will become a country of haves and have-nots. So first of all, let's talk about the haves. Ironically, 1% of this country are millionaires. Yet 60% of freshman senators and 40% of the House fall into this category. It is not a stretch by any means to realize that governing positions are being bought by the wealthy lobbyists, and yet they call each of us a special interest. I define special interest as those who gain from tax rates given to America's wealthiest over the last 25 years. Top income tax rates for the wealthiest of New Yorkers have been slashed from 15.375% to 6.85% over the last 25 years. Yet their incomes have risen 108%. The average workers, the have-nots, earning $34,500 to $83,600 a year, pay approximately 25% in taxes. This is not trickle-down economics. This is asking those with less to foot the bill for those who have more. All on the backs of America's workers, America's middle class.
They're stealing us, those bums! Shame! Pull them out! Let's get back to the 70s!
Democracy!
I remember!
Democracy provides a voice for each of us. The premise being equal rights, equal treatment under the law, and equal opportunity for all. How does one define equal treatment with Wall Street bailouts funded by taxpayers, billionaire tax breaks, and corporations like GE paying absolutely no federal tax? It's time for corporations to straighten up and fly right. It's time for them to pay their fair share. GE in the past 10 years has spent $200 million to lobby for loopholes in the federal tax code, yet made over $26 billion in profits in the last 5 years. Let's not forget the $4.1 billion rebate they received from the IRS. On a statewide level, another example is the proposal of the property tax cap. The cap will limit the ability of a locality and its voters to approve expenditures. I see this simply as the micromanagement of towns and villages by our state government. This is not what democracy looked like when I went to school, and it's not what I'm willing to allow democracy to look like today. Don't scapegoat our public employees for budget problems that they didn't create. Collective bargaining is not the cause of our state budget crisis. And Governor Cuomo, I am sending this